Recent studies have showed that Massachusetts needs an estimated over 220,000 new housing units to fix our housing shortage issue. The question isn't whether we need them, the question is where they're going to go and how are we going to go about building them. So let's dive in. Recently, Governor Healy announced that over 5,600 houses or housing units are going to be constructed on underutilized state land. And it's part of an effort to try to fix a housing shortage crisis here in Massachusetts. But if Massachusetts needs over 220,000 new homes to fix our housing supply issue, how big of a dent does a small move like this really make? And what are these new housing supply units going to look like? Do we have apartment-style buildings? Do we have single-family homes? So the big new fix so far has been the governor coming in and stating that we're going to start using these underutilized lands to build new housing, which I think is a great first step. So just to give you a little bit background on this housing shortage issue, Massachusetts has been underbuilding homes for the last decade plus, and it's created this situation where we don't have enough housing essentially for the number of people we have, and especially for the number of young people we have. Right, so that's created a few different issues. One is rising prices. Home prices are steadily going up, even with the higher interest rates. Number two, a lot of young people aren't able to buy these homes off of lower salaries or first-time employee salaries. They're not able to afford the mortgages due to the high interest rate and the high prices. And so what that's caused is a big exportation of our young people in Massachusetts. Massachusetts has lost about 30 to 40,000 people between the ages of 25 to 35 over the last few years, which is a substantial loss in our population. That's a young working population. The other problem this has created is that rent prices are now going up. People can't afford houses, they start to rent more, and then when rental units get bought and soaked up, then those rental prices go higher too. So we have a hyperinflationary type of market. And it's really due to the lack of new building and constructing of housing we've been doing here in the state over the last decade plus. So the number that's been floated out, as I've mentioned, is about 200 to 250,000, so call it 220 is the number that they're saying would really be needed to fix this sort of crisis, to really bring about affordable home ownership to young people and people of all ages, really. So where can we go about putting this over 220,000 housing units in the state? Where are some of the different areas of Massachusetts? Obviously in the greater Boston area, the best possibility is going to be Boston, Cambridge, Somerville, and Quincy. The demand is there, transportation is there, and jobs are there. Some of the emerging growth markets, I think in the South Coast or Southern Massachusetts, could really use this sort of influx of housing supply too. Areas like Taunton, Fall River, New Bedford, and the surrounding towns have more lots and lands and acreage, and a larger, younger population too. But how do we go about actually building 220,000 housing units when our big first move and goal over a long period of time is just building 5,600 units on state-owned land? And it really comes down, in my opinion, to one issue. Large-scale home builders do not come to Massachusetts. Toll Brothers, Lennar, D.R. Horton, Pulte, and Ryan Homes are some of the largest home builders in the country. And they very infrequently are building here in Massachusetts, and some of them not at all. And when these large home builders come into an area like Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, Texas, they don't just build 50 or 100 homes. Sometimes they're building 5,000 to 10,000 homes at a time in these large communities. And in my opinion, that's the answer to our question. It's getting these large home builders to come in here to Massachusetts so that they can build the housing supply we need. But why won't these builders come here, and how do we get them to come here? Some of the main issues and reasons they won't come here is permitting timelines and costs. Massachusetts has some of the highest timelines and costs for that. Local opposition. Oftentimes, if you go to these city meetings, you have your locals who are often opposed to these sort of projects. Infrastructural costs, zoning restrictions, and high construction and land acquisition costs. All of these areas are areas where the state could subsidize and incentivize these builders to come in and to help create programs with help incentivizing the land, expediting and cheapening or making less costly the permitting and initial construction process. Those are the ways you go about attracting these home builders here. And when these home builders get here, Massachusetts should implement or incentivize them to build certain type of homes. Starter homes, townhouses or duplexes, ADUs, and if needed, small lot neighborhoods. And what Massachusetts again can do here is incentivize these builders to build entry-level cost and entry-level size properties so that home ownership becomes a lot more attainable for people at a younger age and becomes a lot easier for people to downsize and retire as well. So my take on this, the initial 5,600 housing units is a great first step in what is a really large problem. And I think the answer is attracting hundreds, if not thousands of small projects, or attracting these large builders to come in here and build these large-scale communities for us. Areas really all over the state are in need of this sort of influx of housing supply to really fix our market. And if you or anyone you know needs any help in attaining home ownership, downsizing, upsizing, selling, investing, or buying here in Southern Massachusetts, my team and I work with home buyers and sellers in the area, and we'd be happy to give you a free consultation. Feel free to reach out to me in my contact details below, and I'll see you guys on the next video.